counters what Ambassador Rice said. All hell should break loose, even with an apathetic media. And that's the Talking Points memo. Now for the top story tonight, the man who will run the hearing tomorrow, Congressman Mike Rogers. He joins us now from Washington. We need some straight talk here tonight, Congressman. Have you seen the CIA memo?
I have seen the memo and the 4,000 other classified documents leading up to and right after the 9/11 event.
All right, let's just stay on the memo. All right? So this memo was issued by the Libya station chief for the CIA. Does it indeed, as the Washington Times is reporting, say that the attack on the ambassador was not the result of protest? Does it say that?
Well, I can't go into the specifics because it's still a classified document. I can tell you that what was in that document prompted us on the committee and our investigators to re-interview that particular individual about the details of what happened that day and what prompted any documentation, including that memo, back to the CIA.
Right,
and that's an important thing.
So you re-interviewed the station chief in Libya, the CIA station chief, whose identity is kept secret, all right, for his own protection. Right. But it looks like the deputy CIA director, Morell, who you will question tomorrow, is at odds with what his own station chief was saying. Is that true?
Well, obviously there is there's some disagreement between what Mr. Morell has told the committee in the past and what the station chief on the ground has said. And what's so frustrating about this, Bill, is we interviewed 9 people that were on the ground that day. Not one of them said that this was a protest or they had heard anything about some video. So just the sheer volume of evidence mounting to say, hey, nobody there, at least in Libya, was believing that this was, in fact, sponsored by a protest.
So therefore,
some of the folks. But just let me tell you one thing on the ground is really important. One of the guys on the ground even said that it was clearly a professional act, meaning that it had probably been cased before because of the activities of the individuals and their actions on the compound itself.
Well, we have surveillance tape.
That's pretty strong.
We have surveillance tape showing that they cased the place where Ambassador Stevens was going to be. But so your opening question then tomorrow to Morell has to be all of the reports, not some, all of the reports from the CIA, your own agency, Mr. Morell, from the ground in Libya said protests don't have anything to do with it. However, you put forth that they did. Right? Opening question?
Well, it won't be the opening. I think we ought to set that up. I think there's other information leading up to it that will be important for Mr. Morell to get on the record. And again, this is the third committee testimony he'll give. 2 of them happen in classified session the way it should to protect classified information and the individuals involved. This is that first open hearing with the highest official involved in the Benghazi event, and I think it's important to set the stage, but that question has to be answered. It absolutely has to be answered.
Now, there is a chance he'll take the 5th.
He
this
could
is
do
perjury.
that.
If he lies to you.
Yeah. I hope he doesn't do that. He's told us that he's going to come and be truthful. I've encouraged him to show up and be truthful so that we can get this episode, so we can get the truth out and then put this thing behind us in the country by determining the truth. And clearly what's happened is something happened. The folks on the ground were the CIA people were telling the state people, hey, you need to change your configuration here. It's really dangerous. They asked for help, didn't get it. All of that leads up to the day of 9/11. So certainly decisions were made in the State Department that I at least argue are complicit in the murders of those 4 individuals. At least negligence was involved. And then you need to understand, why would they have a political narrative that's different from the facts on the ground? We hope to find out some of that tomorrow in the hearing.
Well, I hope you can, because, you know, the longer this drags out, the more frustrated casual Americans become with it. You already lost the mainstream media. I don't even think they're going to cover your hearing tomorrow. They don't want to hear about it. They've already branded it as a anti-Obama play. I asked the president a point-blank question about Leon Panetta. He wouldn't answer. I mean, that raises a flag to me. You ought to drag Panetta in there, too, because Panetta, my God, you know? I mean, you got to, you know. Do you have any plans of bringing him in?
Well, here's what we've been doing along the way, and the reason I think some Americans are frustrated, it takes a long time in the classified setting, because some of these folks are out doing great work and being patriots around the world, still defending the United States. And so one of the pledges I made as chairman is I wasn't going to disrupt operations around the world to do the investigation. So it's taken a little longer than we want, but those people do filter back. We do get those folks, and when we find pieces of information that don't jive, then we bring the right people in to get those answers. That's why Mr. Morell is going to come in and testify tomorrow.
We need some answers, Congressman, and we're going to be on it tomorrow. It'll be our lead story here on The Factor. But I mean, I hope you can get them, because if you don't get them, you're going to lose momentum here. You've got them now. You got the memo. You got the accusations. You got the testimony. You got to put it together so everybody understands it tomorrow, Congressman. I hope you can, for the good of the nation.
Thanks.
It's not a partisan play.
I may use that old FBI agent in me to try to get this done for you, Bill.
I'm sure you can, but you're going to have to be tough and cut through the BS, because you know they're going to try to razzle-dazzle you with the BS. You know that. And get Panetta in there. Panetta, you know, he's running from us. All right, Congressman, thank you. Next on the rundown, Eric Bolton.